That's right. This is Bad Weather Fans, episode number 64 with Mike and Alex, Mike Biseglia, Alex Benesowitz. And the NBA playoffs are here, and they are coming in hot and heavy. A lot to talk about. Guys, don't forget you can find this podcast on YouTube. That's where you can get the video version where you can see us. Just head over to YouTube, type in Bad Weather Fans. It's all there for you. Knicks, Nets, playoff game ones in the books. Nets winners on Saturday night. Knicks lose a heartbreaker on Sunday. There is a lot to talk about from this Knicks game. We will hit on the Nets game also, but clearly right after this Knicks game, so much to talk about, so many different things, so many different levels to it all. So, Alex, I always have to ask you, how the hell are you?
Life-wise, I'm doing well, but Knicks sports-wise, not too well. That was really frustrating, man. They had the game in their hands. Like they could have easily won this game, and that's the worst part. They were winning by a bunch. I don't even know how many. I lost track of the amounts here and there. It was just an emotional roller coaster. Yeah, they were up 6, right? They're up a good amount. Where you hit a couple shots there, and you can really just put some distance in between you and the Hawks, and like they let them stick around, and eventually you let a team stick around, especially a playoff team, and in the playoffs, and you're playing with fire, and that's what happened. And I didn't really the word. I don't want to say the worst part, but like at the end of the game, putting the final shot, it's a tie score, and you put Frank in ice cold. I mean, I know he's the defensive specialist there and whatever, but like he got cooked. Trey cooked him, and I know the help was late and this and that, but he didn't he was in there, he's in there, he's on the team to play defense, and he didn't play it well on that possession, and the help was late, but they blew right by him. He didn't keep him in front of him at all. Like it took him 2 moves, 2 crosses, and he was gone, and that was it. And it was very frustrating, and just it sucks, man, because it was like exciting. I was jumping up and down. I literally had tears in my eyes hearing the crowd in the beginning of that game. Like I was not lying in my tweet at Nick Central if you want to see it, but like I was literally like, oh my god, like, what is going on? This is wild. Like, I wish I was there. I know I'm going to game 2, so I'm excited about that. But it was just, holy crap. Like, this game was wild. And I think the Knicks in general were a little intimidated by the crowd than the Hawks were, because the Knicks, I feel like they wanted to score 10 points in every possession. They wanted to impress the crowd. I don't know how you felt about that.
Yeah, no, and I saw that a little bit. I went to the Net game on Saturday, and I saw that with them. The Nets scored 16 points in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Okay. The whole thing about the Nets is, they can't play defense. They can't play defense. They played defense versus the Celtics. They couldn't score, ironically. I mean, there's 16 points for this Nets with all 3 of those guys. So, and there was something to that. James Harden said it in the postgame. He's like, it threw me a little bit to have like a crowd and like there was loud noise. And he said, it just threw me a little bit. It wasn't used to the new norm that he's accustomed to with no fans there. And so I do think there's something to that with the Knicks. So excited, so amped up, such a great energy, such a great crowd at MSG that they wanted to go out and just eviscerate the Hawks and got maybe too amped up. I thought this game, my impressions was I could not believe how well Atlanta responded. Every time the Knicks got it to like 4 or 5, the Garden's going fucking nuts. Everybody's losing their mind. And then Atlanta had an answer every time. And that to me was the most impressive part from the Hawks. Bogdanovich was just fantastic. He hit some crazy threes. And I was impressed with him based on the fact that RJ Barrett had one of the best plays that we've seen all season, where there's a beautiful outlet pass from Derrick Rose to RJ Barrett, who had this hammer dunk, which was awesome. Crowd's getting crazy. Bogdanovich, next play, hits a 3. And like, to me, that symbolized Atlanta's not going away. Like, these are momentum shifts, and Atlanta had every time the Knicks came after them, they were there for it. And then Trae Young on the pick and roll just killed the Knicks. They could not stop Trae on the pick and roll. The one time they stopped him, Rose intercepted it. Away they went.
Yeah.
Other than that, they got destroyed on the pick and roll. Just Trae Young killed them on it.
Yeah, no, it was rough. It was rough, and it's frustrating. I don't even know what else to say. I mean, Randall, like, they were in the game and they could have won this game, and Randall, their best player, played like crap.
Game.
That's why the Knicks could win this series. If they really, if Randall plays well, the Knicks can win this series in 5 or 6, like, easily. And it's just, I know it's just one game, but like, they swept them this season. I know they had 2 coaches, and there was a lot of things all over the place, but the Knicks are the better team, man. Like, they can beat this team. And, the Hawks are just loaded with shooters, and they got the guys inside to grab the boards. And John Collins was jumping off like a million alley-oops in this game. It was out of control. And, I just would like to see RJ Barrett get involved a little more. I know he disappears, you know what I mean? And it's just, I don't get that.
I love the one play where they went to Barrett and they needed a basket. They put him in the post versus Trey. I was like, do that
Bully
every
ball, yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Why does it? Why not? I know it's not a traditional post up play because it's guard on guard, but
Right.
he can't guard him in the post. Put him down there. Trey Young defensively is a huge liability. We saw that, and for as great as he is offensively, they try to hide him on defense. Get RJ Barrett the ball in the post, see what happens, and then give it to Burks, who's put on a fucking clinic in the fourth quarter. He was tremendous.
Right. And it was almost like Randall at towards the end, he just wasn't confident. He was like deferring to Burks, which was strange. I'm like, come on, dude. Like, I know you're off, but you're the guy. Like, you can't keep giving it to Burks. Like, I know he was hitting some
He had
shots.
the 1-3.
Like,
The three late.
like, and the pump fake and hitting the baseline jumper. Like, those were, it was nice, but like, it's Alec Burks. He's going to turn into a pumpkin eventually. You know what I mean? He's who he is for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is your guy. You're the all-star. You're the second team all-NBA player. You're the most improved player. You're the guy who's going to be here, and you're the man. Like, take the shot. This is where you're there. And I fully expect Randall to bounce back in game 2. I think it was just his first playoff game. I think the crowd was overwhelming. I think it was just now he's like, this is how he was from last year to this year too. So like, that's why I really think this is the kind of guy he is. He's gonna obsess over this the next 2 days. He's gonna bust his ass. He's gonna get focused, and he's gonna come out and he's going to crush the Hawks in game 2. I just really, it's gonna be like a triple double, something like that. It's just gonna be one of those games because that's just his mentality, and that's his whole team. I mean, and how about the Knicks rookies, man? Quickly and even Toppin, we're playing really well, and it's so nice to have Toppin get a dunk and get the crowd reaction because he gets those big dunks and there's just like nobody there, and it's just not the same to get those energy dunks. So I don't know. Quickly, they weren't scared of the stage. I was expecting Toppin to be a little timid because he's been all season, but he's grown up a little bit over the season. So
yeah, no, he had the three, he had the nice dunk, and he put the nice little 5-point swing together for him. And his three was a huge momentum shifter. Yeah, the Randall thing is fascinating because if he's going to play like that, the Knicks will not win the series. They just will not. Right. If Randall's going to have games like that, they're just not going to win. He's their best player. He's got to perform like that. I do think it's interesting, and this is real talk on this. This is not me trolling or anything. I mean this.
Real talk. Yeah.
This is real basketball talk here on this level. If you're going to be a superstar in the league, you got to perform in the playoffs. It's like those kind of games matter. This is where it matters. And it's only one game, so I'm not blowing that way out of proportion.
Of course not. No.
But if he's going to put up these kind of duds, that's how that's a big part of the season. If you're going to be a next level guy, this is where you show up. So I'll be like, from that standpoint, I'm going to be really interested to see how Randall plays. And I agree with you. I think he's going to have a much better performance in game 2. Jitters out of him a little bit, down 1-0. They know the importance of obviously trying to get game 2. You don't want to go into Atlanta down 0-2. That's a difficult task. So I think the Knicks will come out and understand what they need to do here in game 2. And I think Julius Randle will be part of that. And I would expect human nature things that Atlanta has a letdown of sorts. Mm-hmm. I mean, we'll find out and we'll see if Atlanta's for blood. But I would again, I think Randall will come out a little more cool, a little more calm, a little more collective, and you'll see a much better performance from him. But I mean it when I say this, like, if you're going to be a star, this is the time where you say, get on my back. I'm going to win you some games. And that's what Trey Young did tonight.
Yeah, and besides Randall, he needs to step up, which we both think that he will, like we just said. But that last play, I mean, that I didn't know what that was. Like that's what you drew up. I don't know if the play got broken, so we don't really even know. But like the lob to the inside, I feel like we've seen that a lot this season. It just didn't make any sense to me. Like, set a screen, have a guy come around the top, like get quickly an open 3, or even Randall an open 3 on the top of or just in the corner, like something. But this 0.9, you don't have the time to dribble and turn around. You know what I mean? You have to like get it to somebody in motion that you're going to catch and then shoot. You can't catch over the top, like you're going to get into the post. That was so frustrating. I hate that. Like, it's the worst when you have like a final shot and you don't get a clean look. You know what I mean? You miss, but it's just,
right. At least you have that moment where the ball's in the air and you can I understand. I hate that. Turnovers are the worst. Or if the play doesn't go off, I'm with you. I despise those. I didn't know if I loved, and you tell me because you know this better than I do, that I didn't like Burks as the inbounder, considering he was the hottest Knick on the court.
Right. Because at least he can draw the defense and get an open shot for somebody else. That. That was weird. Because you're not going to get a pass back with 0.9 back, 0.9 seconds left. You have 2 seconds left. You can inbound it and give it back to the inbounder, get an open shot. You know what I mean? Something like that. But you can't with 0.9. No. And I was surprised they didn't give them an extra like 2 or 3 tenths of a second. Usually they do it in those kinds of situations, but I guess the Garden clock was probably quick. They're probably like, stop, like, really fast, like stop. Like it's in.
Uh,
But,
let's talk about the Garden crowd though. It
yeah,
was great. I mean, it was awesome.
wild.
It
Yeah,
was awesome, as you would expect it to be. I think it's a lot of pent up emotions on a lot of fronts. Like
right,
excellent fan base. Haven't been in an arena in a while, and the Knicks are good. Like it just all came together perfectly. Like the
right.
three big things. 16 months of not being at a sporting event like this.
Yeah,
The Knicks have turned around their season and have been phenomenal.
unexpected. Yeah,
And then a fan base that's ready to rock. So it made sense. It's just so interesting, like the back and forth. I know people want to give shit to the Nets, like your crowds aren't good or whatever. So I just, I go into it watching it. I was like, the crowd was electric. You can't deny that. The fans were great. They were revved up. They were ready to rock, and they partied. And that's why again I get back to like I could not believe that Atlanta withstood those punches. I was very impressed by that.
yeah. No, they weren't scared. They weren't scared. They were ready. I mean, it goes probably like the whole week to prepare and think about it, and like they're going to come at us hard, and we let's got to be ready for it. I think that probably had a lot to do with it. We said that before. Like these teams and these coaches are going to be super prepared for this series. It's kind of like a football week. You know what I mean? You had the whole week. You knew who you were playing. There was no waiting for the play-in. There was nothing. It was just like you're both cold. You're both studying. You're both watching film. You knew there's no surprises in this series, and you just played each other about like 2 or 3 weeks ago too. So it's just kind of like we're here, man. What's up? So it's kind of like they were ready for it, and that's props to them, man. Props to Hawks, props to Nate McMillan. Even though I'm still waiting for those foul calls and all the wins that the Knicks are supposed to get from the NBA, I would like to get some soon. But like at the same time, it's like the Knicks have to withstand that. They have to. I know it's their first playoff game. Like the Hawks. This other thing we talked about last week. The Hawks have a lot of players that have been in this before. The Knicks have Derrick Rose, they have Taj Gibson, they have some guys. I don't know if Noel's been in the playoffs, but like they have some guys who have been around. But the Hawks have like guys who have been around, like Lou Williams, Gallinari, what's his name, Capella, like Nate McMillan. These guys have been around, so they know the deal. So they're not going to be surprised.
Yeah, well, I mean, the stars though for Atlanta have not had the experience. Like Trae Young, this was his first playoff game.
John Collins, his first one, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but again, Capella's a problem. He is.
Yeah.
He is.
That's why we need miss Mitch.
Guy.
Yeah, we miss Mitch in this series.
Although Taj played really well off the bench. His offensive rebounding, he was great on that aspect of it. How many second chance points did he give the Knicks? It was incredible.
Yeah, no, he played his ass off, man. Props to Taj Gibson, man. He's that guy, dude. He's just somebody who's just always wants it more, man. He just wants it more. It's oh God, I don't even know what to say, man. I'm just so frustrated because
it's just one game though.
I know it's just one game.
And
it's
I
one
think
game. It is.
I do think there's a little bit of an interesting aspect of like a wake up call to the Knicks fan in the sense of everybody said Knicks in 6. So what's wrong? What's off base yet?
Yeah.
So, but I think I don't want to say the Knicks. I don't want to speak for the Knicks fan, but my sense was not giving Atlanta credit enough as they deserve, and maybe this was a little wake up call of this is Atlanta's good. They're 27-11 since Nate McMillan took over. They're not a joke.
That's why I was getting away from not giving a prediction for the series because I think the Knicks can win the series, but like I have no idea, man.
Sure.
Like a lot of Knicks fans were like, "Oh, Knicks are going to sweep them. They're going to win in 5 easily." I'm like, dude, like chill. Like, I know we're excited, but like relax here. It's just we're not at a place yet where we can be confident. You know what I mean? We need some time to just, it might have been good for them for this playoff run to get punched in the mouth early and see, this is how it's going to be, like it's a grind. It's not going to be just like, hey, the whole season though, the Knicks it's been crunch time. So I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm just kind of upset,
Of course, it's a natural feeling.
The cardiac Knicks all season long, they've been screwing, it's down the stretch and last second shots. So,
well, there's a huge difference. I think what's kind of interesting about this show is that you and I have we've done podcasts after games, after net wins, after net losses, after Nick wins, after Nick losses. So I've been there and I think some of the best shows have been after that of emotional after those games. And it's just interesting from the other side, like from my perspective, I went to the Nets game Saturday. Yeah. Nets played bad. They still had a big burst in the third and a little bit in the fourth, and they were able to cruise for the win at the very end of it. But that was like, for me, that game feels like it was a month ago. I'm already like, where's game two, which is on Tuesday, which is annoying. but I guess it's probably good for the Nets because they can rest for a million years. But it's from my end, I'm like, okay, Nets won on Saturday. I was just a spectator for this Knicks game, and it was highly entertaining. I thought it was the best of the bunch so far in all the series that we've seen. It was my favorite game. I'm not saying I've watched every second of every game.
No.
This one I pretty much did. I thought this was just such a fun basketball game, and from just a pure basketball standpoint, I know the Knicks fan doesn't want to hear this. It was highly entertaining.
Right. That the Heat Bucks game towards the end was kind of fun, but yeah, this game was just wire to wire. It was like evenly matched the whole time, and this is probably the most evenly matched series out there right now. I mean, that Bucks Heat series is pretty even, but the Bucks are like they have Giannis, and if he's on, he's just incredible. So it's just kind of hard to call that an even series, even though the Heat won last year in the bubble, which was weird. But anyway, so this is just one of those series where it's just toe to toe. I mean, the Nets and the Celtics yesterday. I mean, the Celtics, that was their chance to steal a game in the series. They're going to get swept now. It was like the Nets woke up. They're like, okay, now we're ready. You saw them rolling in the fourth. And then it was a wrap. But they had their shot. If they had Jaylen Brown, they could make it like win a couple games this series, but not win it. But it's over now, in my opinion. I know you were gonna.
I'm not going to do that. Well, no, I'm not that kind of fan. You know that from me.
No,
I'm never going to do that. And I'm going to say I'm like a
but
coach.
It's easier for me to say than for you to say.
Yeah. My perspective of the Knicks Hawks.
Yeah.
I think every game is going to be be I think it's going to go toe to toe. I mean, that sounds so obvious to say after watching that game. Wow, really great analysis, Mike. You think they're even games that are going to happen every time? Who the fuck knows? There could be blowouts in either direction. I don't know, but I'm excited for these games. Yeah, I will say this though. After watching Knicks Hawks, I'm glad the Nets are the 2 and they're playing Boston and not facing Atlanta, New York, or Miami. That was abundantly clear from this past weekend, or even Washington at 8.
Yeah, I told you, man. The Wizards are not going to go down, without a fight. That's for sure.
I will tell you though, Alex. I was thinking today, and I was like, as the Knick crowd was getting really good, this did cross my mind. Like, it would be fun to see Embiid versus the Garden crowd. Would be fun. Like, he fucking loves it. He'll get into it. It's like some of this stuff from Embiid. He would be fired up versus that Knick crowd. I was thinking Sixers Knicks would be fun for the crowd aspect.
No, it would be because he plays it up like a wrestler. He's just one of those guys who just loves it. And Trae Young was doing it at the end, but they were chanting at Trae Young all night. They were going at him. So it's just like our boy Lee Valentin. He called him the hairy lollipop. It's just like one of those guys. Like he's just. And I'm not even just saying this as they're playing the series, but he's just not an enjoyable player to watch. He's always looking for fouls. He's taking dives. It's just not that kind of guy. He doesn't play any defense. He's like a poor man's Steph Curry, and not even in the same level or in the same stratosphere. You know what I mean? It's just not. It just sucks. It's like Harden on the Rockets. It's like, you get to the line every 5 seconds. Like, big deal. This is so exciting.
I typically agree with you. I thought Trae tonight wasn't unbearable, and I'm saying that from a basketball standpoint. He did have a couple of those, get the butt in there kind of play. He did have a couple of those, but for the most part, his passing was on point. He found guys open in the corners for threes multiple times. He got into the paint. I found him to be not as atrocious. I know what you mean as usual. I thought he wasn't terrible on that end of things. He was, he put on a show. I mean, and this is a cliche comment, but it's true. Guys coming to the Garden, they give more effort. They give, not that he wouldn't give it, but like he wanted to shut everybody up. There was 15,000 people, deservedly so, losing their effing mind, having fun, and that fired him up. It did, and that he showed moxie tonight, and he showed what good players turn into great players as they go into places like Madison Square Garden. And they put on shows. He did that.
Right. It was kind of like a Reggie Miller kind of a performance for him, but at the same time, but now, like, what do you say? So the series has started because the road team won, right? So that's what they say. That's the cliche that you love, that the series has started.
I was like, if you're gonna go say that to me right now, Alex, after I've said it on the podcast, I'm just quitting Bad Weather Fans, and you can find another co-host. It's first to 4. Like it's first to 4. Atlanta better not take a night off because they stole the home court. Knicks go into Atlanta. Yeah, I'm not saying it's who I'm rooting for. I'm just saying, like, I'm rooting for. But I'm just saying, like, from trying to get to 4, get to 4. Who cares where the game is? Get to 4.
It's a stupid saying. That. Yeah, no.
I hate that. Oh, the series now has started. Oh, you mean it didn't start at 7:00? Then what the fuck was I watching?
I love how mad that gets you. It's so funny because
I know it really does get me mad unreasonably. You shouldn't get me that upset.
No, but I mean, listen, the series started in game 1, so that's good. That's a good thing. So now we can get it over in 5 and just win the next 4 and just end this freaking thing, and that's it. So we're good, So I'm just, I mean, it's just so frustrating because you get such a good game from a guy like Burks. I know he gets good games here and there, and like this, like the other day or like towards the end of the season, he had a couple 30-pointers, but it's just so nice to you wasted that game. You wasted a good game from Toppin and quickly. And it's just when your starting lineup has Randall scored 15, Bullock had 6, Noel had 6, Peyton had 0, and Barrett had 14. You're not going to win many games. You know what I mean? You can't rely on your bench to be the sole provider of points. It's just, you can't, you're not going to win that much. And it's crazy that they still put up 105 points, but it's just, you need Barrett and you need Randall if you're going to do anything in this playoffs. If you're going to win a round, if you're going to win 2, dare I say, you need Barrett and Randall to play at the level that they were playing for most of the season. It's just as simple as that.
Now the Knicks got great effort from the bench. I mean, Derrick Rose was awesome. I thought he was great. He changed the game in so many ways. Got to the basket, could score around the rim, made the right passes. Derrick Rose was good.
He's been that, man. It's
17-5 and 5 tonight, starting. Man. What is that about?
I don't know. And it was a quick hook too, man. Why even put him out there? I guess it was just kind of like, well, he's been starting this whole time, and we're still, he stinks, but he's been starting.
Can Rose start? Why not?
Just start Rose. Exactly.
Who closes? Just start him.
And then have Quickly and Frank come off the bench and be the backups, and that's it, and just go from there. You know what I mean? And that just send them out of here and put them on the bench. That's it. But. And then Frank at the end of the game isn't cold, and maybe he stops Trey. Maybe he just keeps him in front of him. Maybe he does something that can help. Exactly. Because it's just unfair to the guy. He's in there with his sweatband that's dry, guarding Trey Young. Like, hey, I got you. Trey's like, I got you, bro. And that's it. And then it's just. Like I said, I know the help was late. I know he's cold, but he got cooked. Frank got cooked. This is why he's on the team. This is why he's in the NBA, because he plays defense, and he got cooked. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, that's a tough spot, though. I mean, I think you're right, and I know Coach Tibbs is what he's doing, and he did the same thing where he put Frank in at the very end of the first half, I believe, like 50 seconds left or something. He did the same thing. That's a little different scenario when like the Knicks or whatever. It was a very close game. Whatever.
Don't waste a foul on somebody.
Whatever. You want to put him in for defensive play. The pressure is very different. But you're putting him on an island versus Trey Young, and he hasn't played, and you're saying go out and defend him. And Trey Young is in a clear rhythm. I mean, he is playing well. He's making all the right plays at this point, and you're going to have him go out and defend it. I put that on Coach. I think that's a tough spot for Frank. I think you're putting him in a bad position.
Unfair
I'll ask
situation.
you, who would you have had on him if it wasn't Ntilikina in that?
I would just let Rose on him, or we got Burks on him with a little size on him. Just anything. But you're gonna have to trap him, and you got to stop his right. He can't go left. Like, you know what I mean? Just stop his right and stay. It's just let the help come from the left and like force him. Like, I don't know, man. It's just, I know it's easy for me to say that from my apartment in the city, but like it's not. It just. Like, I don't know, man. It's just, I feel like he overthinks these great coaches, they overthink it sometimes, you know what I mean? And they try to outsmart themselves.
That's what makes Nash so brilliant. He's like, Kevin, go.
He doesn't think. He just says, guys, do whatever you want.
Durant, fuck around. Beat Kevin Durant. Brilliant.
Yeah. When Durant stole that ball from Tristan Thompson and had the breakaway dunk, it was just all coaching. That was all Steve Nash. He said, Durant, do that. And he did it. And that was it. It's perfect.
Speaking of the Nets from that game, it was a weird game from them because they all year had been really good at offense and really bad at defense. And the Celtics did nothing. I mean, they came out hot a little bit, and then it was ice cold from them.
Williams, bro. Reggie Williams looking like Bill Russell out there. Holy crap.
I said before the game too, I went to my buddy and I said, I was at the game and I was like, he's gonna be a problem for them because the Nets' big issue is offensive rebounding, and him and Thompson, it wasn't off. It could have been worse, but boy, he was there. He was active. I mean, I felt like the Nets should have won that game by 40, but they just missed so many shots and they got blocked inside, and it was just, I don't know. It was a weird game because it was the Nets didn't play well, but yet they kind of beat the crap out of Boston. There was way too much isolation basketball going on. Like the performance they had versus Boston would not be acceptable in the next round for a win. That would be a loss versus another team. Right. But that's the beauty of take it, move on, and this is a crazy experiment with the Nets. Let's learn if we can play together, and we'll find out if it works. But at the very least, the isolations will work because all three of those guys are just so special at what they do.
Yeah, and they can play with one basketball. It's incredible. They were able to do it with one basketball.
That's so funny about this Nets. This Nets team was like, The thing that they were so good all year in the playoffs, nothing from Jeff Green, nothing from Landry Shamet. Joe
Did
was
he even play?
okay.
No DeAndre Jordan either, right? He didn't
Oh,
even
he's
play
not
either, right?
playing. No, he's
Yeah, he
DNP
hasn't played in a
Jones.
while. Is that what? Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't played in forever.
Really? Okay.
He might have a spot. He might have a time where he comes in and they need him. Knock
Yeah.
on wood versus an Embiid or something like
Right,
that.
right,
But
right, right.
he's
Just the
not going to
body.
get minutes.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
doesn't play anymore. He's done. Out of the
Yeah.
rotation.
Mm-hmm.
See ya.
That's wild. Yeah, and who
No.
cares? Goodbye.
Who cares? He loves. He's making $10 million to be Theo Pinson.
The cheerleader, right? Yeah, no, that was wild. But it's just the Celtics, they just have no chance. And like I said, that was their game to win. Even if they're gonna make it like scare the Nets a little bit, that was their game. And now it's over, in my opinion. I know you don't want to hear that, but it just is. And now they can use these next 3 games, 4 games it's not really fair. I mean, it's fair, but like this is why the Nets, this is why you and the Nets were excited to get that 2 seed, because you wanted to play a team like this. You didn't want to see the Heat, like, you know what I mean?
No.
Hell no, because the Heat would have beat you in that game. They would have beat you.
Probably.
They would have because Jimmy Butler and Spoelstra and those guys, they know what they're doing. They're it would have been a different game, obviously, and all, of course, different team, different time. But
I get that. Yes,
you get me. You know what I'm saying. I just want to know what the difference was. There's only a few people that know what the difference, like the crowds were, like, that everybody's like, oh, because on Twitter during the Nets game, people were like, there's definitely fake crowd noise at this Nets game. There's no way they're this loud and this and that. I'm like, that's why I texted you and you're like, no, they're fucking loud. Like this game.
No,
is loud.
it's
yeah.
I mean, I wasn't at the Knicks game, so I can't speak for it. And then I didn't watch the Knicks game on TV, but I can use my best guess. And a friend of the show, Evan Roberts, texted me and he was giving like the crowd different like noise levels, because I was curious too. And Knicks had a louder crowd. I mean, or better. I mean, and then also that flow of that game was more conducive for it too. But I mean, come on.
No,
the Nets crowd was good. The Nets crowd was fine.
The Nets crowd was good. It was good. They don't know how to spell
on TV.
They don't know how to spell the OG Nets.
Oh, the guys had it backwards. Come on, give me a break.
That was hilarious. It was hilarious. It was funny.
But no, it was fine. But it wasn't like it was just kind of like this is what I'm trying to say. The energy before the game I thought was awesome. Like exciting, like pumped up. The national anthem was live. It was their first live national anthem all year.
Oh wow.
I mean, it was just like fired up, felt great. And then like it was kind of it ebbed and flow up and down. But there were moments where I just was like, hey, it could have gotten louder, but it wasn't the Knicks crowd. I know that. That. That's a big thing right now with Nets and Knicks fans to point out, like Knicks fans point out the Nets. The Net fan isn't that loud. Make fun of the Net fan. The Net fan pointing out, hey Knicks, you're chanting Brooklyn sucks. Nets sucks at your game. We're in your head.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fascinating to me that
No, it's the Knicks fans care. And people are like, oh, I don't care about the Nets. You freaking care. Like, just stop like lying to yourself. Like, it took me a while, and I think getting to know you and doing this podcast over the last year plus, and even the ones on Mike Delivers that we did, it's just kind of, you get to learn. I started learning a little bit that and becoming real with myself. Like, I fucking hate the Nets. Like, it is what it is. Maybe in 5 years I won't feel the same passion. Sure. If the Nets take a dive and the Knicks stay good, or even back in either way, it's just like, but right now in this moment, I can't stand them. And it's there's all different aspects into it. They're the super team. They talk shit. It's just there's all these different aspects of it, and it is what it is. Just be real with yourself. And I put out that tweet the other day or yesterday. I was like, am I the only Knicks fan that can admit that I hope the Nets lose by 30? And it blew up like 700 likes or whatever the hell it was. And it's just, and there's still people saying, no, but I don't care. I don't care. Like, stop lying.
Maybe people don't care as much for them to lose as you do. I could understand that. There might be that end of it a little bit, but it's, like if there are chance of Nets suck, I can promise you this. If this was, 15, 20 years ago when the Nets were playing in the NBA playoffs, there was no way that would be it would be something else. It would be Reggie sucks, even if you were playing another team. It'd be stuff like that. The compliment, I guess, but it just, oh my God, it's like, who has to say who has a louder crowd? Whose crowd is better than the other crowd? Oh no,
the reason
what
why.
A weird, my God, what a weird thing to get into a debate about. Holy shit.
I know it's so unfun, and but it is stupid. Overall, it is stupid. Yeah, I understand that it's stupid, but it's fun. It's fun to take shots at each other.
And the Net crowd was louder.
That's good. So only Evan Roberts and Mike Breen can tell us which crowd was louder, and they're both one is a Knicks fan, one is a Nets fan, so we can see. We should put them together in a room, and they could discuss the crowds and let us know.
Evan will be honest. He'll tell you the Knicks crowd was louder. It was. It definitely was. I mean, I would say the loudest that crowd got was probably the R.J. Barrett dunk. There was the Taj Gibson
and in the beginning,
the
first half of the first quarter, they were on fire. The crowd,
Oh,
but the Knicks weren't giving them anything.
Emotion.
The Knicks weren't giving them anything. The Knicks hit 2 threes early. They could have hit if they hit like 2 threes early or had that dunk early. They could have freaking ran away with this game. The crowd was so crazy, But they came out with a dud in the beginning, and that was rough. It was kind of like it might be rust also from the week, So
maybe
we'll see what happens. I hope they just. I'm going Wednesday, and I'm excited. We've got great seats. I'm really pumped up to go with my boy Randall and Matt, and I'm looking forward to it. And it's just hopefully now I get to go see a win.
Yeah, exactly.
If they go down 0-2, that's gonna be a tough pill to swallow if they go down 0-2.
I'm so glad you brought that up because you're obviously gonna have the time of your life. So I went to the Nets game on Saturday, and it was just so surreal to be like with a lot of people. I'm fully vaccinated.
Yeah,
I feel comfortable going. To get in, you have to be vaccinated over there. So it's like, okay, everybody around me is vaccinated, but still, just to be around the people and feel the energy and like get excited and see other Net fans and get into it. And it was one of the better moments I've had in a while. It felt really good as the national anthem was playing. I just looked at my friend. I was like, this is like real life.
We're back.
This is fun. Nets, Celtics playoffs. By the way, 5-1 all time in games I've been to when the Nets played the Celtics in the playoffs.
Wow.
Only one loss to my resume. 5-1. Just want to throw that out there.
So you got to keep going, man.
I got to keep going.
The streak alive.
So it just felt so good. It felt so natural, and it just felt like old times. And I just like you heard the Knicks fan tonight. It was a coming out party, and it was a celebration beyond basketball. It really was. This was more than just the Knicks. This was
normal.
As I said before, this was we're gonna party. Our Knicks are fucking good. We're gonna have fun, and we're gonna be loud, and we're gonna show off tonight. And just just all. And I say that from my end as a Net fan going to that game. It was just so nice to do something that was so normal and just so exciting to attend.
Right. You're celebrating normalcy. Almost, you're just celebrating normal.
Exactly.
I'm not sitting at my future in-laws' house. I'm actually at a Knicks game, playoff game. I'm not sitting here Saturday morning doing this podcast with you from my fiance's sister's bedroom because it's a pandemic and we don't want to be in the city. You know what I mean? It's just like it's gonna be crazy, and I can't wait for it. And it's gonna suck that they lost. And there's gonna be a lot of emotions early on if the Knicks go down early in the game on Wednesday, and it's gonna be a lot of that. But I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it, and I have faith in this team that they'll bounce back and they'll win game 2. And it's just this. I just had a feeling this series wasn't going to be as easy as some Knicks fans thought it would be, and it's. I'm just frustrated. I'm at a loss for words, to be honest. It just sucks, man. It just really does.
No, it wasn't your storybook ending after the great crowd, the emotion, and then it was like Trae Young, who was very
9 of 9 from the line too. Trae Young,
the great free throw shooter. And then the funny thing is his 3-point shooting this year has been dog shit.
He's only 1 for 3 from downtown in this game too. I'm looking at right now. Yeah.
I heard an interesting quote that I thought was, and maybe you tell me now after hearing this, but what R.J. Barrett said before the game, they said they don't mind him one-on-one, chucking up threes. That's not his strength. His strength is getting everybody else involved. And they were like, we want to make him not a passer. We want to make him a shooter because he's not a great 3-point shooter. It's crazy. That sounds because his range is wicked good and he can make shots all over the court. But from a pure statistical standpoint, he's not very good.
No, and that's why that makes that last shot so frustrating. Just keep him in front of you. I know it's easy for me to say that, but or the help needs to get there sooner. Like you can't let Trae Young get by you and get this floater for the game. Like you just can't let that happen, And it's especially if you're the defensive specialist, you just can't let that happen.
Frank.
It just can't. It's just why are you in the NBA if this is your moment, man? This is what you do. And I know it's unfair to make it all about him, and it's not because it's the coach's fault for putting him in there cold like that. But this is your, sink or swim, bro. Like, this is it. You want a career? Make that stop. You got to steal there and you got to dunk. You're in the NBA forever. You know what I mean? But you don't, and now you're gonna be out and back in France soon. You know what I'm saying? It's just like there are moments like that is how you establish your career. You know what I'm saying? Like it's. I know you're laughing, but it's true.
Going to France, it's just funny.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Make that
like,
steal, you're not going to France.
That's it. You're done. It's not like, Frank's floor. I think like we've talked about this a couple of times where the difference between Frank and Knox, where it's like Knox is, Frank's floor is like 10-year veteran, end of the bench, playing defense here and there, whatever. But Knox's floor is like Europe. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You mean ceiling?
No, floor, like the worst that they can be. You know what I mean?
You think Frank's worst is a 10-year veteran? I think that's his best. I'm serious.
I think he can be better than that. I think there's a chance, like if he gets in the right, but that's the thing. Actually, you're probably right because at this point it's like the excuse for Frank over the last couple of years. What'd you say?
How long has he been in the league now?
4 years, I think. 4 years, but he's had like three or four coaches and like 4 executives. Like it's like a bit absurd.
No, I know. It's impossible.
It's like he had no chance. So it's like I always said, my defense of him was, well, once he gets on a good team with a good coach, we'll see what he is. Well, here you are right now, and you can't crack the rotation the whole season. So it's just like, I don't know. I think there's more political reason why Elfrid Payton starts so much and plays so much throughout the season, even though he's been god awful. He was at that. You heard the Woj pod with Randall. He was at that dinner that Randall was at a restaurant in the city with Leon Rose, Worldwide West, Kenny Payne, and a couple other guys I forgot. They were there, and they asked Randall and Payton, like, what do you need? And Randall was like, I need a coach that's going to hold me accountable. Leon Rose pitched the story. This is my opinion, is that after that meeting, Leon Rose pitched this to Dolan, and Dolan bought it, and here we are. And that's why Elfrid Payton is part of the family, and he's like in the mafia. He's just like, you gotta play him. It's politics, and it's just hopefully at this point it's over, man. You're in the playoffs, and that's why Tibbs pulled them so fast. He's just like, all right, I can't do this right now.
Right. We pull him 2 minutes in. He had a couple of shots around the rim that he missed, and that was really it. And it was just a different energy when Rose, especially Quickly's in the game. He got such a hop to him, and at least he looked relaxed. He was having fun. Mm-hmm. Quickly was hitting bombs from Penn Station. I mean, it was he was all over the place. That tweet by the Knicks was terrible.
That was horrible, man. So yeah, for the people who didn't see it, the official Knicks account, when Quickly hit that long three, he said, Quickly hits this one from Penn Station. I'm just like, Penn Station is underneath the Garden. So did he hit it from under the floor? Like, maybe somebody wrote, did they mean Penn Station in Newark? Like, is that what they meant? Maybe.
Someone write that.
Yeah, so I think that's what they meant, maybe.
No, yeah, right. Let's be at the Garden and let's make a Newark reference. That's really smart. Yeah. Like, yeah. Oh, he hit that one from Piscataway. He hit that one from Secaucus.
He hit that one from Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn. Yeah, exactly.
That was so odd. I read that. I was like, wait a minute. Something doesn't. Isn't that? Wait. Where did they play again? That was funny. Or maybe they were doing that on purpose just to get reaction. I don't know.
Nah, who knows? Whatever. We're making fun of some like 20-year-old.
No, I know. And then I brought this up before about the podcast. Like, it's the Knicks, but it's just some schmuck sitting there, on his iPhone or on his computer writing it out, and then be like, shit, I missed it. Is it?
Yeah, I'm such an idiot.
Is it THEIR? Is that the THERE? I can't. I'm doing this from the Knicks account. Is it apostrophe S? Where does the apostrophe go? And it's like some guy trying to figure that out and get that right.
I'd crush it if I was if I ran a social of like the Knicks, I would crush it, dude. Like that Knicks would gain like 1 million followers. Be fired in a day, yes, but I also would gain 1 million followers in that day, easy.
Hey, easy. Alex, I know we're the New York Knicks Twitter account, but you can't be making fun of other teams' fans and calling them a disgrace. We're going to have to fire you. Please stop talking about the Sacramento Kings like that.
Oh, man. No, I don't make fun of the Kings. I want De'Aaron Fox, bro. I'm not making fun of the Kings.
I will stop talking about the offseason. It's only game 2 of the NBA playoffs, and the series just started.
You brought it up, man. I didn't bring it up. No, I'm just kidding.
You brought it up. I brought up the Kings. You brought up Fox.
Oh, okay. You're right. I'm sorry. I lost.
Yeah, it's about time. Oh man, I love that game though. That Knick game was fun to watch. I did enjoy it. It was a good basketball game, and the net game for me was entertaining. I know we haven't talked much Nets, but I think it was just kind of like
it was what was expected. It wasn't the hot. It's like, all right, they won. They beat the better team, and they beat them, and that's it.
Kemba looked shot.
Kemba, yeah, he's toast. He had a couple of good moves in that game, but he
That was
overall,
it.
he's not the step back UConn game winner Kemba anymore. That's for sure.
I thought I saw this, and I could be making this completely up, but I thought I saw this. There was at one point at the very end of the game when Kemba was at the line, the net fans were chanting Kyrie's better, just obviously with all.
I couldn't make out what they were saying. That's funny.
Yeah, he was saying Kyrie's better, and I swear I saw Kyrie. And if you're watching the video version of this, be like, stop with that chant. I love that. I'm falling in love with Kyrie more and more every day.
Why would
Jersey connection? Because
why doesn't he want them to chant at him? Who cares?
I don't know. I could be completely wrong, and maybe I'm making. I don't want to. I don't want to.
Could have been talking to the bench or something.
Who knows? Right? Who knows? So I'm just every day I watch Kyrie more and more. I'm like, I'm so happy this guy's on my team. I love watching him. He's awesome. I think he's a good dude.
There's another thing I noticed in that game was that the Celtics and the Nets, they were helping each other up a lot. I know it's not the 90s NBA and the 80s where people would punch each other in the face to say hello, but like they were like a lot of times they're like, oh, I got you. You know, it was just kind of like, did the Celtics even want to win? Think they can win this series? Is that they're just like here to like just play basketball? You know what I mean? Like to play out the string. Like they know they have no shot. They're just like, oh, it's okay, Kyrie. I got you. Don't worry about it. I'm pounding the butt. You know, I tuned it out. If I saw the Knicks do some shit like that to Trae Young, I'd be like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah,
like
you can't do that.
You know, I mean, obviously the situations, but like if you but in the situations I'm talking about, like that one on the sideline, I think Williams fell on somebody or somebody helped him up, and you're like, I forgot what it was. It was near the bench or something. It was a weird play. I can't even, I didn't do a good job describing that, but
no, I got it. The play by the bench with the ball.
Yeah, with the ball and the players, and they fell. You know that play. Okay.
There were sneakers, socks, and
one basketball. Yes.
And a really loud crowd. No, it wasn't a loud crowd. Yes, it was a loud crowd. I've had so many Celtics. It
was sold out. No, it wasn't. It was sold out. Yes, it was.
Oh my God. I mean, it looks sold out. I don't know but according to my Twitter timeline, the Nets gave the tickets away.
Well, it was sold out.
People tweeted me.
The amount of tickets, you can't say it's a sellout, sure, but it's a COVID crowd, so you didn't sell every seat, so it's not technically. So you can make up the number. What's a sellout? So we sold all these tickets, so it's a sellout. We sold 90% of our tickets. Okay, well, is that how many you were supposed to sell? Is that how many you wanted to sell? What's the number? So it's all subjective. Exactly. I just know in the beginning. What'd you say?
No, and it's not like when if it was normal times and you look, there's empty seats.
No seat. Empty.
There's no like now you look at like yesterday, Garden or Barclays. There's empty seats because we know there's less seats. So you can't be like, is it sold out? Is it not sold out? It's impossible to tell because we can't be like, you're like counting the chairs. You can't do that. So you don't know.
No, you can't. And that's it. And you'd be like, no, it's sold out. These guys are just in the bathroom. This whole row was in the bathroom at that one time.
I know. So. All these screenshots. Oh, empty seats. Looks like it's real busy.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Both fan bases.
Yeah, I mean, there was this vaccinated section at the Garden, I think, or non-vaccinated section at the Garden. It looked like there was empty seats because they had to spread them out because that's what it is. Those are the empty seats. Those are the 2,000, 5,000, whatever it is, empty seats are in those non-vaccinated sections. So it is what it is, man. Who cares? Knicks lost. I'm pissed. I don't give a shit about the crowd anymore. That's
what I'm talking about. Real fans.
Yeah, real fans. We eat red meat and drink IPAs all day long.
You like IPAs?
It's okay. Actually, you know what's funny is I was texting you earlier. I was out at a bar at like 11 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, because I was curious if you were drinking.
I was pretty much all day, but I was able to take a nap before the game, and I woke up at I set my alarm like 6:55, and I was just like, I'm ready to go, because my friend of mine is a big Chelsea fan, I guess, and soccer had the last game of the season of something, I don't know, the Champions League, and they all play at the same time. It was kind of like Red Zone. They had every game on all the TVs and shit. Yeah. It was crazy, and they were all going nuts. I was like drinking, and like it was just we were at Legends over by the Empire State Building, and it was crazy. But that was another feeling like you had at the Nets game, where it's just like, wow, I feel normal. Like there's people here and cheering and chanting, and it's just like, yeah, it's 11:30 in the morning, but who cares? I feel like this is normal. It's like it was fun. So.
I was curious if you were drinking too, and I was only curious because I knew you had the Knicks game later, and I'm like, oh boy, be careful. Yeah, be careful.
It's funny because
you can get tired. You get tired.
No, I know. And Hannah, my fiance, was telling me about that. She's like, you got to watch the game and then the podcast later. She's like, stop. I'm like, I only had a couple. I was okay, but Then we came back to the apartment, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, so when Evan was tweeting me about the screenshots of the tickets and the seats are available, whatever today, I was just like, I'm at the bar at Chelsea, like these games. Everyone's like, like looking. I'm like, oh, I gotta respond. I wanted to respond. I was just like, I don't even know what to say. Just like whatever. It was pretty funny though. It was because it was just all this crap around me at the same time and these uncomfortable seats, and it's just like, all right, I'm back to reality. This feels like New York City, and the city is back, dude. Like I know that things are closed after a certain time, but daytime, people are out, people are at the bars, people are at the restaurants, people are at the parks. Once these offices open up, man, the city is going to be normal. And once they like lift the curfew of the restaurants late at night, which I think they did already, I'm not sure, but like things look normal, man. If you just come back to the city, it's looking great. Don't be scared, people. It's really nice. I'm telling you.
I would love
me. I know. I'm right here.
Yeah, it's a green screen. Stop with everything. Unfortunately, he got the city view and I got the fridge. He got the better package deal on his Zoom cam. You got the fucking city. I got the fridge deal. This fridge is annoying too. The way it opens, no one cares about my fridge. I
want to hear more about inside Mike's fridge. Let's go.
You want me to open? I'm not opening the fridge.
Your cat will dive in the fridge.
Leon's hanging out. He's sleeping right now. He's sitting on my notebook. No, he looks very cute. But anyway, now the last minute I've talked about my fridge and my cat.
Let's keep going. What else are we talking about? Have you taken out your garbage yet tonight, or you still have it? Do you take it on the
Tuesday, Thursdays? I was Tuesday, Fridays. I was thinking though it would be cool to do like a live show from somewhere. Knicks play each other. We'll do a live show before a game. I don't know where.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know what's gonna
happen.
Get a
sponsor to do it.
Jeez. Yeah, that'd be nuts. We can do it. We can do it. We'll figure it out.
You know any bars or anything they would hook it up?
I can look around. No, I'm just kidding. We can find one. I know a couple.
Great
I know a couple. I can ask some people. Ask around. We'll see what happens. We got some time. We got a lot of ways to go to get to that, but
that'd be cool.
It is what it is. So, you want to get to the poll questions? It's kind of on the same track of what we've been talking about.
Let's go for it.
So, okay. So I just put it out right before the podcast. So it just ended. Final results in 316 votes. So it was only up for about 35 minutes. Knicks fans, most disappointing part of the loss to the Hawks. Trey cooking Frank, and that last play, Randall's poor play, the final shot, not a good one, aka Tibbs, not drawing up a good play. It didn't seem like it, or it was just frustrating. And then Elfrid Payton starting. What do you think won?
I think this is easy. I think you know the answer. It's Randall.
Yes.
Overwhelmingly won.
Overwhelmingly. 53.8%. 53.8% Randall. Number two was Trey cooking Frank was number 2 at 18%. Elfrid starting is 14%, and final shot, not a good one, 12.7%.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like Payton starting okay, but he was hooked a couple of minutes in. So, big
that doesn't really matter. And plus, we're over it. I'm over it already. Like, I can't complain about the same thing for 7 months.
Randall was bad. It was Randall.
Yeah.
He didn't show up. He's their best player. He didn't have a best player.
He didn't show up. Yeah. He'll be fine, but he didn't show up. It's just simple as that. He'll be fine. He didn't show up. Frank got cooked. It's not all his fault, but he still got cooked. He was cold. He shouldn't have been in there, but he still got cooked. There's multiple things can be true at once, because I was getting into some arguments on Twitter right before we got on, and it was like I said, why did Can we talk about? I said something like, can we talk about Frank getting cooked by Trey down the stretch on that last play or whatever it was? And people were getting mad at me and like, no, it's not his fault. I'm like, guys, like, relax. Like, I understand that he was cold. I understand all of this, but the facts remain that Trey made a double move and he got it right around him without any problem. So it's just, that's what happened. And that's what he's there for. So it is what it is. It's not the end of his career. It's not the end of his life. He'll be fine. God forbid it be the end of his life, but you know what I'm saying? So a couple shout outs here. So we have our boy Ben Little. He's at Benjamin 1 of 1. So he is the only Ben Little. So Elfrid starting. Julius was bad. Final 20 seconds of the game, bad. My goodness. The tone was set, or better yet, not set, because Elfrid started. Tibbs deserves credit for pulling Elf, leaning on Rose early, and giving the rookies quality first half time. So I don't know what he chose, but that was a nice description of the game. So shout out to Ben.
A little of everything.
Yeah.
A little smorgasbord of Knicks talk.
So this account doesn't make any sense. So he goes, his happy Knicks fan. He's at Mad Knicks fan. So he's happy and mad at the same time. It's just kind of like all over the place. Yeah, but he goes, all of them. But it's concerning how bad we look on final shots. This series could come down to a couple of them, and they've struggled to even get a shot off lately, which is true. It's a good point. Let's see who else we got here. Yeah, Kenny. So he's at Kenny Mir. He goes, the elf stuff because it's so damn predictable that it is a waste of minutes. And also, that stuff you can control. That's a good point. Very good point. Let's see.
Well, if it's coming from above, as you think, maybe then maybe he can't control it.
I think it's kind of like a manager in baseball where the GM sets a lineup, but we're still getting mad at the manager. You know what I mean? Like Rojas the other day with Stroman. But anyway, so we have Apex. We have Apex dash Weeaboo. He's at Weeaboo. Or she at Apex _ Weeb WEEB like Weeb Eubank. So if I had to rank it, 1, Randall's play by far the most disappointing. 2, final shot, we ain't even get it off in time. 3, Frank's defense close, but the last shot killed me. And 4, Peyton, we all knew he was going to start. So that's true. Like it's at this point, a lot of Knicks fans, like you keep getting mad about it, but you keep the same thing over and over. How many podcasts I spend yelling about Elfrid Payton. It's just, I'm freaking over it already.
A weekly tradition.
Yeah, it is. It is. So this is my other favorite account, Dwayne Corbett. So it's a picture of Wayne Corbett dressed up like he's, from the hood. It's pretty funny. He goes, he's at Joe Tip 26. He goes, have 15,000 people there to witness it live and the entire world watching at home. So I don't know what that means, but I don't know what you chose, but that's thanks for responding. Our boy Coonies and Bobby had a little conversation here. He goes, Randall needs to show up next game. Block 2, just all around bad nights for them. Tibbs' final plays have been sus all year long. I almost expect it at this point. And Bobby said, click the wrong one. Definitely Randall's performance was the answer. So, there's your like
Rose came up big and he was the guy that tied the game. That there's only point, and that's the shot before that tied it before Trey, but there's only 0.9. It's hard to just say if the play was done right because who knows with that short amount of time. I told you, I just thought I didn't like having Burks as the inbounder, considering the guy carried the Knicks in the fourth quarter. I mean, he was awesome.
Right. Get like we said before, at least have him there so we can draw the defense because you have to pay attention to him in that point.
He was hitting. He missed the one shot he had late, very late. Besides that, I mean, he was making everything.
Right. And then let's shout out to our guy, Ursin Demir again from the Netherlands. He's at Sir Ursin Demir. He goes, the answer is not there. For me, it was the RJ missed 3 that would give us a 10-point lead. Instead, they make it 2 with 2 quick Lou buckets. The other one was the hottest guy inbounding the ball on that last play.
And Lou had a good stretch where he carried the Hawks a little bit and kept them in the game in that fourth quarter spot. He hit a couple of shots and he helped not allow the Knicks to extend the lead with the bench. Lou Williams had a nice game there. He provided a nice lift off the bench for the Hawks.
It's true. That's true. Let's see. Didn't he tell us? Sorry, Urson. I don't have your tweets up. I know you wanted us to talk about something on the pod, but we'll get to it next show. I promise.
It's about DeAndre Jordan, essentially, and we'll talk about that next week because things will develop. I'm sure with him is maybe he play, maybe he won't. We'll talk about that next week. And DeAndre Jordan. I was just happy to get a question. It was just so refreshing to have a Knick fan tweet at me a question about the Nets that wasn't just
Nuts suck.
The same shit. It was like a legit question.
You have no fans.
Nets. I was like, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Of course, now we're not answering the question, but it was a good question.
We forgot the question, but
it was so good. One. It was so good. It went in one year, and I was like, that is so good. But it's dominating my brain. I can't be this smart. Flew right out.
Yeah. So that's a bunch. That's all I got. It's all basically the same crap over and over. But one more. Duber Foul. He's at D_Dez USA for life. Really, in my opinion, the Knicks defense in the young runner was really poor. 1, make Young go left. 2, double team needs to come earlier to Young's strongest hand, the right. 3, make Young take a 3. 4, don't let Young beat you at all and double him as soon as he gets it to half court. The doubling thing at the fourth point, I don't know about that because then you're just leaving somebody completely wide open and they can knock down shots. Everybody can shoot on that.
They've got shooters.
Yeah. So, but other than that, he's absolutely right. He or she is absolutely right. So that's pretty much it. You want to do some number trivia here?
Yeah, I want to see. That's what makes playing against good players tough. It's like, do I send a double and leave somebody open? Do I allow him to go one-on-one? These are decisions that teams make, and ultimately, it just comes down to if you're able to make the play or not. And this is why a lot of people like the Nets to win the championship because when you have 3 guys that can do it, what do you do?
Right. And then the one team. Go ahead. Keep going.
I was saying you double team Kyrie. Okay. You leave Durant and Harden and Joe Harris open, so that's what makes the Nets special,
right? And the other thing is to that was what we talked about earlier before the show was that the Nets can sustain an injury. God forbid for you, they can sustain it. One of the guys go down, they could still win the championship. You know what I mean? Like Somebody goes, and Embiid goes down for the Sixers, they're done. Giannis goes down, they're done. Donovan Mitchell goes down, they're done. These guys are. LeBron goes down, they're done. Like this.
Yeah.
This is just, the Nets can sustain an injury. That's why they're so dangerous, and that's why they're probably going to win the championship. I know you're nervous, but it is what it is. Anyway, jersey number trivia. We started us off in the podcast doing every episode. We were doing a jersey number and guessing it on either team. But since we're in the 60s, what episode is this? Did we even announce it?
64.
64,
right?
So there's no number 64. So let's see. I'll pick a number. Today's the 23rd. Let's see, number 23.
I have a 67 that we'll get to. You know who that is.
Yeah, Taj Gibson. So okay.
Yep,
that was easy. Let's see. Wow, these are gonna be hard Nets on number 23. I don't even know if you could. I don't even know who any of these.
Jordan played for the Nets. No, that wasn't him.
No, I'm not gonna do 23. Like, who are these people? Laverne Tart.
Yeah.
Dennis Hobson. Yeah, that's not a good number. So let's see. Let's go to 22.
Well, he was. I wouldn't have gotten that, but yeah, the other one, the first one, I have no idea who you're talking about.
Yeah. So let's see.
I've got one for you.
Okay, go for it. What number?
Number 31. Played for the Knicks in 2010.
31.
He.
I get the most random guys. Fuck.
This is a great one. This is a great one because
right,
you definitely know who he is.
Okay.
He is not known for being a Knick. He played 8 games for the Knicks. Did not start any of them. Played 8.9 minutes per game. This is such a good one. Oh my God. I'm so proud of this.
31.
The clues, though, will give it away so easily.
Oh, okay, so don't give it. So 31. He only played 8 games, but he was a long tenured NBA player, I guess.
9 years, it looks like. 10 years.
All-star level or just like around the block, been around?
Not all-star level.
Okay.
Definitely not. He came into the league at the age of 18.
I have no idea.
Think of clues without giving it away. He has connections in a way to Carmelo Anthony.
Connections in a way to Carmelo Anthony. I have
probably going to go down as one of the bigger busts in NBA history. He's not from America. His first name rhymes with Larko. Last name
Darko
Milicic.
Milicic. Oh yeah, that's right. He was on the Knicks for 5 seconds. Oh,
that was tough,
but
it was a good one.
That's a guy like you wouldn't know his number. He played so little. Like it's just one of those, you wouldn't associate with him with a number. You know what I'm saying? But that was a good one.
That was a good one.
Tough. Okay, so how about this one? Number 22 for the Nets.
LeVert.
No, well, yes, but that's not who I'm referring to. Let's see, who can I pick? There's so many 22s. It's like a crazy amount of people who are number 22 in Nets history. Okay, so from 99 to 2001, he was on the Nets, the New Jersey Nets. He was in the NBA a couple of years. He was definitely a draft bust, center. 5th pick overall. No, was it 5th pick? Oh, no, that's a second round. So he wasn't a draft bust. He just wasn't that good. So he was in the NBA for a couple of years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. His last
Jim
3 years
McElvain.
were on the Nets. Yes, you got it. Good one, man. That was nice.
Thank you. It's about time. I had to rally. It's been a while.
Yeah, that was good.
You think Seattle gave him like 7 years, 35 mil. At the time was a lot.
Yeah, no, that was
Something
nuts.
like that.
That was a nuts contract. That was like a John Concac, like one of those, like, what the hell are you guys doing?
It's about time I got one right. Damn, it's been a while.
Yeah, it has been. I feel like you're gonna give me a real one though. That was tough.
I gave you a real one next week. No, you're only getting one today.
Okay, damn it. All right,
that's a real one.
That's fine. We can end it. That's cool. It's cool. Knicks lost. That sucks. That's one. That's good for you. Sucks for me. But
so Nets get the win. They're 1-0 series. Their next game is Tuesday. When the Knicks play? Wednesday.
Yes.
You're going to the game, so we'll get a full report. That'll be fun. Can't wait to hear about the Garden and the energy and how great it was.
Yeah, no. Well, I told you, man. Every one Knicks fan is as loud as 10 other fans on the team.
Even so Boston fans.
Even Boston. Every fan is just
know
nice, man.
Thank you for the tip there. I was happy to see this, and this is a combination of the Celtics not being as fun for their fan base. I'm so used to other teams invading my arena. There were Celtic fans because they're a good fan base.
Yeah,
but it was not. You couldn't hear them. It was just like, it wasn't like they were there. It was great.
I think it's we talked about that. I think it has to do with some with COVID also. Like a lot of out of towners that lived in New York left. Like if you're from Boston, even if you're still your job is still in New York, you went home. Like you went home to your parents, you went wherever you live or whatever. You know what I mean? You got out of here because why would you stay here? You have no roots here besides your job, and you left. So I think there's a lot of that. There's not a lot of transplanters here right now. Only New Yorkers are left, and people that couldn't get out of their leases. So like that's pretty much what it is. So, but people are coming back. My building is full. It was empty it was getting pretty much empty a couple months ago. Now it's pretty full. Like only the studios were left, and now they're filling up. So I'm a huge building too. So it's city's coming back, man. Come back to the city. Don't be scared of it, people.
Just let me have a moment where I can say it was nice not seeing other fans there. And you're like, well, it's COVID and the people aren't here. And let me get philosophical.
I can't let you get credit for anything.
And let me just say, come back to the city. And I'm like, I agree, but it's like, just fine.
I'm running for mayor, dude. You didn't know I'm running for mayor?
Seriously. Hey,
I bet you I can beat Andrew Yang in the polls. Easy.
Hey, my mayor, not my mayor, the New York, the Net jersey thing. That looks so stupid.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, well, good luck. I'll be your campaign manager.
Thank you. That'd be great. So,
yeah, that'll be really great. What an awkward ending. We're talking about running for mayor. Right,
let's talk about something else. No,
Bad Weather Fans, episode 64. Knicks take the L. Nets take the W. Long way to go. Just beginning. Hey guys, if you're listening, please go ahead, give a 5-star rating, comment on Apple, download, subscribe, whatever type of device you have, do it. And if you're on YouTube, go ahead, click the subscribe button as well. There you'll be able to just get instant downloads of the Bad Weather Fans podcast right to your device on however you listen. Alex,
Mike,
I'll talk to you next time, bud.
Have a good night.